Alright, so go ahead and start the install of my Vintage Tank Solutions poly tank. Here's what I have here. I have the skillet stainless steel fuel straps, the tank sink 10-inch armless sending unit. You have to order this metal shim separately, so this goes inside the poly to brace it and then screws in. This is the Vintage Tank Solutions tank strap covers for the tank. The Holley 12136 in-tank fuel pump setup. That's the kit that comes with the fat mat. Also comes with this foam here. Then I ordered this separate. This has been my holdup. This was on a 3.5 week back order. This is the 12877 shim. It's the equivalent to this shim but for the pump. So this will go inside the tank and it'll let these wings catch it so it's not gripping to the plastic, to the poly of the tank. And then of course the Holley instructions, the main thing you need from here is this page here, because it's going to tell you your measurements for cutting. Holley does a great install video, so I'm not going to show that install. I'm just going to go through my install process of the tank once I get everything set up. I have the car jacked up. So my goal here, I don't plan on having to drop this often, but I want to be able to pull the fuel pump out through here instead of dropping the tank. The sending unit I'm not worried about pulling, so what I'm thinking, I'll cut a square out on this hole here, and that'll be the size I need for the fuel pump. And then I'll just put a door here, and I'll use this original spot here to pull my wiring through for the sending unit and fuel pump. And so what I'll go ahead and do, I'll go ahead and put the skillet straps on, put the tank in so I can mark here. I'm thinking it's going to land about right here, and then I'll put the sending unit here. Also, while I'm doing that, instead of putting the rubber back on like factory had, Holley sends this so that you can put this on the steel tank to give it some room for the head of the fuel pump to clear. I'm going to just take strips of this and put them in each of the factory spots. And that should suffice for me in place of the rubber that the factory one uses. I also have my, I'm pretty sure that's the wrong fuel filler neck. I got about 3 or 4 different ones because, well, actually I know it's wrong because they don't line up. So I'll have to go find the right one for that. I might just buy a new aftermarket one altogether, since I'm not using the evap canister, so I won't really need that anyway. So I don't know, we'll see. Also, for the install of this stuff into the tank, you need a 1.5 inch hole saw and you need a 3 1/4 inch hole saw for this. So I'll go ahead and get the tank put on real quick. My GoPro SD card is gone, so it will be hard for me to do this holding it. But once I get it in, I'll pick back up there. All right, just want to show you real quick. I went ahead and I cut these down to size and put them all in different spots. Again, Holley gives you this so that way it would clear the hat, but I'm using it for something else this time. Go ahead and get the tank under there. I've also hung the skillet straps, and I've put the J hooks in. So tank weighs 9 pounds, so it won't be nothing for me to hold it up while I get the straps in position. All right, so I just have the straps a little loose right now because I don't want to pull the metal into the poly, but the tank is holding in just fine. Again, you're supposed to put this on the straps first. I didn't put that on the straps yet, so I don't want to grind into it too hard. But let's talk about fitment real quick. So in the car, let me zoom out. All right, so in the car, it's really good fitment so far. Excuse me. Again, this is just loose fitting, but it fit perfectly with the skillet straps. I'll tighten all that up soon, so it'll take the slack out of this one. And you can see here, I'm gonna turn the, oh, I can't. You can see where that rubber helps it up against the body. You don't want the poly chafing up against the body. So make sure you put something there, but you can see all the, it's mounted good. So now I'm running AN lines, and if you look here, they left this void right here, right? So you can bring your lines right through here just fine, through this hump, and you won't hit anything. And then that's my plan as well. Top. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mark here, so that way I'll know where my hole is. And like I said, I'm gonna put my sending unit about right here somewhere. But I'll go ahead and mark this with a piece of tape. Just mark it about center. So that way when I drop it, I can remember. So that's about my center. I'll drill my hole here for the hole saw. And again, or maybe I'll do the sending unit back on this side. Yeah, that'll probably make more sense. Because I have to keep in mind my mat, my hydromat is going to want to run across. And if I want to run my fuel lines off the pump that way, I'll be better off here. So yeah, I'll mount it here, and then I'll cut this out. Yep. All right, so again, before I drill, I'm just going to take my hydromat. So if I'm aiming for this to be the center, if that's about center and the pump falls center, I need to come over just a little bit. The hydromat will bend some, and I'm not running the magnets, so if I put it about right here, like so, let's turn the tank up. All right, so I think that'll work, because I'll miss, it has this baffle wall, so once I finish, I'll show that as well. So if I put it about right here, I think I'll miss the baffle wall for sure. We'll do that. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the hole. So I'm gonna put it about right here, and I'll put my sending unit about here, because I don't want it back toward this. So I'll put the sending unit about here. We should be good. Give me 1 sec. All right, pro tip for those of you who don't know. So I always run my hole saws backwards when cutting plastic, so that way the teeth don't actually get caught on anything, and it makes a really good cut. So I just have to clean this up some, but if you didn't know, run your hole saw in reverse. It'll cut the poly real clean and smooth for you. All right, so let me get a video of this baffle wall real quick. Let's see if I can put this light in. Of course I can't, but all right, hold on, let's try something else. All right, so they have this baffle wall to stop the slushing. Video cut out. So they put this baffle wall in to stop the slushing. Let me see if I can get a good angle. All right, so you can see it there. So that baffle wall stops the gas from slushing side to side. And so what's gonna happen when I put the hydromat in, it's gonna pretty much, it's gonna go in like so. And so you see, there's my hydromat, and it's almost bumping up against that baffle wall. So the hydromat sits perfectly here. I gotta get all that junk out. I'll vacuum. So the hydromat's gonna sit about there, and it'll be able to pick up fuel from that whole area. So again, you don't have a surge or a slosh tank here. It has this baffle wall to slow your slosh down from side to side. You let the hydromat do the rest of the work. They do sell magnets you can put inside the hydromat, and then you mount them here on the bottom of the tank. That way it stops them from moving, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the next hole now that I can see where the hydromat's going. I'm gonna go ahead and put the sending unit. The more I look at it, sending unit might be good in this corner. Yeah. So here, let me show you my thoughts. And no, I do not subscribe to the measure twice, cut once. I subscribe to the measure, cut, cry, and then figure it out. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'll put this in facing this way. I have all my AN fittings here. And that's a great fit. So then this, oh, you know what I didn't think about before I turned that way? Well, no, that won't matter because you can turn the hydromat whatever direction you want. So I'm thinking if I put this about right here, because it's not like there's a tube coming through this. Yeah, I'll put this about right there. Turn it upside down. Yeah, I'll put that about right there, and that will be pretty close to perfect. And now that I'm thinking about it, I might not cut this hole, because you know what, this tank is really easy to drop. If I need to take the pump out, I'm gonna have to undo the AN lines anyway. And doing the AN lines in the car, it makes it easier because you don't have to drop the tank. But again, I'm just gonna have one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and those 2, plus whatever exhaust I run. So 7 connections, drop the tank if I ever have to. I'm not gonna cut that hole in the car. I'm gonna do it like this. We're gonna roll with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill the hole for this real quick, and then I'll show you how to put that in. The way you put this in, you hold it in with your hand through this hole to screw that in, and then that's done. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so got it in again. Remember, run your hole saw backwards. So this is in now. Let me pull and show you so you see it sits nice and flush. Show you how close it gets to the bottom. So my hydromat is going to be about right here. And you can see with that tank sense, that takes ink 10-inch. I roughly have, I guess, a 10.5. A 10.5 inch might be closer. So when I'm showing it empty, I'll still have just a tad bit left in the tank. I'm not touching the bottom. I have roughly the thickness of my finger difference, and that's before I put the, I want to say this is a neoprene gasket that they have that goes here. So I'll call it maybe, once I put this on, we'll say that's probably about, let me not guess. If we do this here, that's about a 1/2 inch. We'll call it 3/4 inch space. I'll go ahead and put that on and start up. Yeah, I forgot to mention, while I had this in there, I just took me a little, I took a pick and marked my holes so that I could drop these screws through. And I used the 1564. I just went a little bit larger just to give myself a little bit of play. Yep, that's in. So now that's all in, and I can't really see it, but that'll be good for this now. When I go inside through this hole, I'll pull the unit back out and I'll hold this flange up against underneath the holes, and then I'll screw each one into the flange. Get this out the way. And so I'll put the neoprene deal back on. You know what? I might send it without, because I think these screws are too short. Let me see how much I can touch on that. Looks like I might be getting longer screws. Actually, yeah. So it's just enough thread on there to catch this, but not enough if I put that gasket on. Did I tell you I am a king of send it? So it has a little lip on it here. Ooh, decisions. I'm not known for always doing the right thing all the time. I'll try it with the gasket first. If I don't feel like I get enough to catch, I'll just get longer screws. Yeah. All right. 1 second. Well, here's a plot twist. Drilled my holes there, but what if I told you this metal flange from tanks doesn't line up with the holes there? So if I wanted to use the flange, I'd have to enlarge these holes here. Decisions. I've turned this flange every which way, and the most I get are 3 holes every time. I'll hit TankSync up and see what they say. But you can see here, this one here, I'm forcing. It's kind of in a bind. So, well, it's this one, the one that's up high. I can get 2 across from each other. I'm sure that'd probably be fine, but for $6 just for the flange, should fit better. But about to carry on with the install anyway. It's not about them, it's about Finished Tank Solutions. All right, so got this in, only put the 2 in for now. The other ones don't line up good, so do that later. All right, I'll clean this hole up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and prep this for the install. So this tube stays the length it is, I wanna say. And what's gonna happen, this is the return, right? So you can see the return here. So this is the return tube back into the tank. Holley does a great install video, so I'm not gonna talk much about it. And then the hydromat will snap onto this. So the pump will be hanging down, hydromat will be about there. I just have to cut this bracket to size, and they give you instructions on how to measure. And again, Holley does a great installation video, and the pictures are pretty good. You write down all your numbers here, and then it's gonna tell you what to cut it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick and get that in. Well, get that prepped, and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll show you a cheat sheet on the numbers I came up with. So I'm going through my measurements. So this came pre-attached. It's just one of those days for me, man. It says that it was supposed to come with a 12-inch hose. That's supposed to be 12 inches. And that's what the instructions say as well. That's not 12 inches. I mean, that's barely my hand. And, you know, I got big hands, you know what I mean? But that's here nor there. And I look at it. Somebody's been here before. Somebody failed their install. So, what that does to me now, that is roughly 11 inches, right? I need 11 and a quarter total. So that puts me a little bit too short. So I guess I will be calling Holley or Summit as well for another hose. What a day. Again, no, it's not about them. I just want to get this in to test fit it. So we're gonna keep on rolling. They were also nice enough that by them doing that, I don't really have to cut much off the bracket. So here nor there, sucks. Talk about a disappointment. Most definitely has been used. As soon as I take off the cap, look what pops up. Fuel bubble pops up. Smells like straight gas. I get it. I know some it can't control it, but it sucks when you get something that's already been used and was returned. Smells like straight gas. Look at that bubble. Just, yep, smells like straight gas. That sucks. Well, yeah. As I proceed through all my many disappointments so far, so you see I got the hydromat on. It has these little click positions where you can turn it in the right angle. So you can see here, I wanted my unit to point that way for the AN lines, and the hydromat's gonna point straight. So the instructions say just to, I'm trying to one-hand it. You slide the long slide in, give it a little pushy push, and boom. So now that's in. And then you come here, once you put the shim on, I don't even want to waste my time putting that shim on because I'm probably gonna have to send it back, which sucks. So I need an Allen key for this. You tighten it up with the Allen key, and then it tightens up. I'm not even gonna tighten it actually. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the car so you can see how it looks. I mean, it sucks, right? It is what it is. It's you wait for a bunch of parts to show up. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Luckily, I ordered all new, so it's all right. I'll go ahead and put this into the car so you can see how this lines up, and I'm gonna tighten the straps up so that way we can see how much clearance we get. But if we look here, that is actually lower than this point here. So the AN fitting is gonna come out and my lines will come and then go over this. Be right back. All right, so now I got it in. I think I need to adjust my strap. I need to adjust my J-bolt on this side to get it a little bit closer to level. But that is in really nice. So you can see here, remember I originally planned on cutting this, but I'm glad I changed my mind because I would have to cut way in here. So I'll put my grommet here, or I might use the original cap. Yeah, I'll put the original cap back here, and I'll put a grommet here, pull the wiring up through here, and run it through. The fitment is really nice. Let me see, let me get a light. See if I can show you how much clearance there is. So remember, we want to bring the AN lines through here now. Oops, there you go. So now you can see the hole that I'm gonna bring the A-line fittings through perfectly. So they'll come around the corner and come right through there. And have plenty of room. I'm running AN6, but it return as well. So I'll do that. That's the baffle wall again. Let me zoom out so you can see here. I just put a little bit of electric tape to hold the rubber in place, and then I'll just trim the electric tape back. But I'm gonna have to drop the tank again anyway since it's a used pump, but you can see it's there. Great fitment, went right in without any problems. So, really nice. Thanks for checking. I'll get some pictures. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have any, but great fitment for sure.